Yeah, and so I think, one of the reasons why I am such an fervent advocate of reproductive rights is the fact that women must be able to control their bodies, and rape and this effort to stop women controlling their reproductive autonomy through legislation, they really come from the same place. It's an action of asserting power over other people's bodies, and I think we have to speak out and try and fight that.
I would say reproductive rights are an empowerment mechanism for women all around the world. And having that strength to be able to know, one, where you can get your resources, and that if you need to have those resources, that they will be there, is a privilege. And it's a privilege that's being harmed against in a lot of places. Oftentimes when we feel secure, we do have those and things of that sort, and you're not up to date on the politicization of the issues. You don't know when you might lose them, and you don't know who is fighting to have them, and you don't know when they will be lost, and everything is up in the air. And so I would say access to resources, empowerment. Empowerment leads to conversation. Conversation leads to change.
There was a senator who, I don't remember his name, but stated and I saw this on C-SPAN, stated on the floor of the Senate that if it is a child conceived by rape, that, and I don't remember exactly how he worded it, but he basically stated that if it was rape, God would not cause that child to be conceived. And I think that the semantics, when it comes to the conversation surrounding reproductive justice, I think that the semantics that are in this conversation are wild. And I think that we hear a lot of that. We hear a lot of those semantics. We hear a lot of religious organizations cherry-picking religious doctrineship and then weighing in on that conversation. And it causes a lot of public officials to selectively utilize semantics.
When reading the transcript, I know that I said that when she talked about when she got the abortion, how bad the facility was, and that's with government funding. So to think about them taking government funding away, there's probably no way that these clinics can survive because they're already so underfunded. And that just kind of broke my heart and made me feel disgusted. Like, why is this happening? I feel like she wanted kids so bad, but she didn't want it that way. It's a terrible way. And again, she said that I want that child, but how am I going to tell them how they were conceived? That's such a terrible thing to feel, and that child is going to feel so terrible about the way they're conceived, and so many emotional issues that child is going to have, not to mention her, that it's just so sad that people after her aren't going to have the right to do that if they want to.
I used to be very conservative, grew up in a Christian household that was like just die-hard Republicans. And it wasn't even that long ago. It was a couple years back. I was one of the crazy ralliers that were like trying to protest abortion clinics. And so it's really crazy to kind of be on the other side of this issue. And I understand the people that are against this issue. And it's more of, like you said, media manipulation. It's demagogues like Trump who use these words like pro-life and pro-abortion to try and manipulate people into thinking that reproductive rights cannot exist within the sphere of their religious faiths. And I think that once we clear up these misconceptions, then we're going to start to see real change.
Since you brought up the whole thing with you grew up in a Christian household, I think that's something that I've been very conflicted about, actually, myself. I grew up Christian as well, and the thing is I also love the sciences, and I'm surrounded by so many diverse groups of people, and it's something that, you struggle with a lot of the time. Like, I want to nurture my spirituality, but a lot of those people tell me things like abortion, those things are wrong. But I definitely believe in having that alternative, having that option, because you don't know what that individual is going through and that kind of thing. And it amazes me when you're talking about media manipulation. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention this or not, but I was actually recently discussing the whole Bill Cosby issue with a professor. And you see this a lot in the media where people who have a lot of fame or are very accomplished, suddenly, automatically the doubt goes towards the victim, simply because of these accomplished individuals. They have all these titles and they have all these, they have this past of success and charisma. And I mean, people don't find it hard to believe when they say, oh, serial killers and sociopaths are actually very charming. But you tell them a very charming person is sexually abusing people, and suddenly it's questionable. And that I've never understood that.